Right now at 5:30 on WKYT this morning, we're tracking the investigation into a Western Kentucky bus driver who's accused of hitting and killing a 5-year-old 2 weeks ago. We've got a full report on what an investigation has found.
Also on WKYT this morning, a big day in politics. The first Democratic primary debate is tonight, plus Kentucky's lieutenant governor candidates square off on KET. We'll have a breakdown of last night's attorney general debate coming up.
And one of the state's biggest thoroughfares expected to open much earlier than anticipated. That story, plus a look at your morning commutes here on WKYT.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Great to have you with us on WKYT as we get this Tuesday off and rolling. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope it's a good start for you. Tuesday, sometimes a little hard to get going, but we're going to get you there and help you out. Maybe you have a little help from caffeine.
Yeah, right. A lot of folks had yesterday off, being a federal holiday, but most folks, I think, were out there working, and of course the fall breaks are continuing for some as well. Lucky them. Let's check in with Micah right now, and he'll have our first alert forecast.
Yeah, mid to upper 50s outside. Not too bad of a start, I'll tell you that. And even some locations right around 60 degrees. Look at the London-Corbin area. And down south, you can't really see all that much. So we really need to be watching out for some visibility issues in some locations. Most of us reading pretty quiet this morning. 24-hour planner, there we are, 67 by the afternoon. A cool breeze in store, too. 67 doesn't sound that bad, but when you add a 10 to 15 mile per hour breeze, then you're talking about it being chilly in some locations. Going off into the night, into tomorrow morning. Look at these temperature differences. 56 this morning. 41 tomorrow morning. Here comes a blast of cooler air, and also your weekend forecast obviously is our focus. We'll get into that in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you. WKYT News is learning some new details this morning about a Western Kentucky bus driver who police say accidentally hit and killed a kindergartner. 2
weeks ago, 5-year-old Jayden Hawkins was hit and killed while getting off his bus. The bus driver says she did not see him. WKYT's Hillary Thorne's at our live desk with more on what an investigation into the driver's record is saying about her this morning.
Good morning, Rebecca and Bill. Janine Dockery has been a school bus driver for 10 years, and the Butler County school system says they have never received a complaint about her driving. But we are learning that one family says they themselves complained multiple times. Satisfactory grades in pretty much every single category is what is found on the experienced driver's record. However, one family on her route who asked not to be shown on camera says last school year they complained around 5 times to the director of transportation and the superintendent about Dockery driving too fast and their younger children being knocked out of their seats because of the way she was driving. Superintendent Scott Howard says he remembers those meetings, and according to his recollection, the meetings centered around behavior issues on the bus, not Dockery's driving. The loss of Jayden Hawkins is being called one of the biggest tragedies in the community's history, and now those who were close to the 5-year-old are hoping to make a positive change by passing Jayden's law for the state of Kentucky.
I just want to make sure this never happens again to anyone. No one's family should have to go through this, so I'm trying to make it to where all elementary age children have an escort to and from their bus stops when they get on and off the bus in the morning and in the afternoons.
Now, the online petition for Jayden's law already has nearly 5,000 signatures. The Butler County Schools Superintendent says Dockery is still employed by the district but is on leave. At the live desk, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Well, authorities in Bath County say a couple's dead after a tree limb fell on them outside their home. It happened Monday morning in a home on Pine Grove Road, not too far from the Olympia community. According to state police, 66-year-old Ralph Davis and his wife, 56-year-old Dorothy, were trimming a tree when a tree limb fell on them and killed them both. No foul play is suspected. 2 firefighters were killed fighting an apartment fire in Kansas City, Missouri. The firefighters were caught in the building as a portion of it collapsed. 2 others were hurt. One was checked out while the other's in the hospital this morning for observation. Firefighters were able to get 2 people living there out of the building unharmed. Investigators have not released the names of those firefighters or how the fire started.
A sad scene there for sure. Well, in Pike County here in Kentucky, authorities have arrested a man who they say was driving a stolen school bus. 19-year-old David Farley is now facing several charges, including driving under the influence and fleeing and evading police. Officers say the bus was parked outside the driver's home when it was stolen early Sunday morning. Police say the bus was not damaged. It was used on Monday to take students to and from school.
Police in Whitley County arrested a man they say broke into a home while a family was inside. The Whitley County Sheriff's Office charged 20-year-old Tyler Bowman with burglary, menacing, and alcohol intoxication. Police say late Monday night, the owner of a home on Ellison Bend Road saw Bowman in the living room going through the family's belongings. The homeowner held him there until police arrived. Investigators say Bowman had been drinking and got into the home through an unlocked door. They say he told them he thought he was at his home. A group of Rowan County leaders hope to meet with Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear to talk about the issues today of county clerks and marriage licenses.
According to the Family Foundation, the group from Rowan County wants to offer the governor help in resolving the situation. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our Capitol this morning with the latest on that group's reported visit set for later today. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Bill. And they would like to meet with Governor Steve Beshear because they say they do not want to see this highly publicized controversy that is playing out in Rowan County right now from ever happening again. Now, there's still a lot about this meeting that we do not know, but first we'll take a look at what we do know. Around 10 a.m., about a dozen Rowan County leaders will meet outside the governor's office. They want to help the governor resolve the issue with county clerks who are refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis and 2 other county clerks say issuing those licenses would violate their conscience because it goes against their religious beliefs. Now, we are learning about today's possible meeting from the Family Foundation. However, they are not saying which county leaders will be coming to the Capitol, or more specifically, if Davis will be here. We also do not know if Governor Steve Beshear will meet with them. He has already said that he will not call a special legislative session to deal with the issue. Now, the group will be meeting here in about 4.5 hours, so we hope to get a better idea then what exactly this group is planning to offer the governor in terms of what they can do to help resolve this issue with those clerks. And it's something that has already proved to be quite a hot-button issue and quite polarizing for many in Kentucky. Live in Frankfort, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. And Kentucky's candidates for Attorney General discussed the marriage license issue during a televised debate last night. Republican Whitney Westerfield supports a special session designed to accommodate county clerks. He says the governor should have done more to protect Kentucky's Religious Freedom Act. Democrat Andy Beshear, however, disagrees.
And the frustrating part, frankly, is less that nothing's been done, it's that nothing's been tried. Another order could be done now, and short of an order, and he's claimed that he doesn't have the authority to do that. And if that's the case, if that's where everything comes down, I disagree with that. But if that's where it is, then call a special session.
A special session under law is going to cost at least $300,000. The pay is statutory, and the length, based on the process, is a minimum of 5 days. Here, probably longer, probably more expensive. And we're looking at a regular session starting January 5th. As we sit here, it's October, and I don't think that's a wise use of taxpayer dollars.
Election Day is 3 weeks from today, and with only 21 days until the election, Kentucky's governor's race is heating up. The Commonwealth candidates for lieutenant governor will be coming together tonight for a debate. Sandy Overly, Janine Hampton, and Heather Curtis will square off tonight at 7:30 at the W.T. Young Library on UK's campus. That debate will be carried on air and online by the University of Kentucky's college radio stations WRFL and WUKY. Also tonight, all 5 Democratic presidential candidates will take the stage in Las Vegas in their first primetime debate. CBS's Don Champion is in New York with a preview of what to expect.
Ahead of tonight's first Democratic debate, Hillary Clinton focused on Republican rival Donald Trump in Las Vegas. Monday, she made an unscheduled visit to join a crowd of mostly Latino union workers trying to unionize at the Trump International Hotel.
If you are going to run for president, then you should represent all the people of the United States, and that includes hardworking people.
Clinton will square off against 4 Democratic rivals, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
This is a people's campaign, not a billionaire's campaign.
Pundits say her top rival, Bernie Sanders, will try to attract voters beyond his grassroots base. The Vermont senator has closed the polling gap on Clinton in Iowa and overtaken her in New Hampshire.
If elected president, the United States of America will not have more people in jail than any other country on earth.
Experts say former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, who has so far flown under the radar, is more likely to go after Clinton than Sanders.
O'Malley is the one who's most likely to try to seize on a moment. He's also made a very big deal out of the debates and wanting more of them, so he really needs to have a good debate.
Lower polling candidates Jim Webb and Lincoln Chafee will also take part in the debate. Don Champion, CBS News.
Should be interesting. Well, back home, one of the biggest gateways into the state of Kentucky is set to open much earlier than anticipated. The new I65 Bridge in downtown Louisville will reportedly open by Christmas of this year. The bridge was originally supposed to open to traffic in April of next year, but officials say they are on budget and ahead of schedule. An exact date of the bridge's opening will be determined at a later date. When the new bridge opens, the nearby Kennedy Bridge will be closed for construction. That bridge expected to reopen late next year. For now, officials have not decided whether or not to toll the I65 bridge. So that's good news that they're ahead of schedule, because a lot of times that is not how it works.
Right. Of course, it has been discussed for about 30 years. So
there you go.
But it's taken a long time. But you're right. They are ahead of schedule to get things going. And then the tolling issue there, as well as in northern Kentucky, where they talk about what to do with the Brent Spence Bridge eventually. 5:41 is our time this morning as we check live drive traffic and take a look outside right now.
Well, crews will be closing some lanes on Versailles Road between Wesley Heights and Biley Road. Those closures will last from 8 this morning until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Workers are still constructing new medians over there.
All right, and it's back to work for a lot of folks this morning who had Columbus Day off yesterday, so a little additional traffic. Of course, it was busy on Monday as well. A lot more news coming up for you on WKYT on your Tuesday.
After the break, a group of veterans say they're using comedy to overcome the horrors of war. The story on Stand Up for Veterans after this.
That front has moved on through, and back behind that front, some cooler air swings on in. We'll get into those numbers coming up next.